It's almost like you've just got to sit back and basically be a spectator. And
on some level, you kind of look. I wake up in the morning, I kind of look out, and I just go, well, I'll be 70. I'll be 69 this year. Okay, so in 2020, I'll be 70 years old, and I realize, the glass is half empty. It's not half full anymore. It's half empty.
mm-hmm.
I don't know how many more years I have, and so I try to create as many films and books as I can, on this subject, to alert people, to awaken people into another reality, that there is a supernatural world, and it's more real than the world around us now. But you're right, a spectator on some level for sure.
Yep. Now, what about the Mother Mary? I mean, she's been used over the years as an apparition that appears out of nowhere, but people who look more closely at it can tend to think that no, it's not her, it's something else.
Well, I did 2 films on Fatima, and we went there. We spent weeks over there in Portugal. We interviewed all sorts of people. There's a guy in Brazil right now who took the film, uploaded it, and he's like showing it to all these people for free. It's not on YouTube. It's on his own channel. You're just like, thanks a lot, pal. I see the way the game is played, but I spent a lot of money and a lot of time going to Fatima and reviewing it. It was a UFO event in my estimation. It was certainly not the Mary of the Bible, as we read. All this was dressed up in Catholic clothes, and it's been perpetrated over it's been 100 years now. So it's 101 years ago, 102 years, 2019. Mm-hmm. So 1917 is when the apparition. I mean, that's a 3-hour conversation, because I studied it, and I created 2 hour-long films on Fatima 1, Fatima 2. And what happened there, in my opinion, had nothing to do with the Mary of the Bible. But what Fatima does do is it sets a precedent for people to accept so-called sun miracles and apparitions. So in the beginning of the first film, I go, millions of people travel to Fatima every year. Millions of pilgrims circle the Kaaba stone in Mecca. Millions of Hindus celebrate Guru Puja. Millions of Buddhists worship at thousands of temples all over Asia. People have the right to believe what they want to believe. And we're not here to disparage anyone's belief system. However, we will delve into the phenomena that occurred in 1917 and deconstruct it and see if we can find another answer. So we take Mary off the table completely. We never, it's not, never even talk about it. All we do is focus on, what did the apparition say? Why was it wearing a short skirt? Why is it that only the children could see it? And then all the strange phenomena that happened in and around the event when the flyby occurred. In other words, people are out there in the field waiting the sign. They'd heard there was going to be a sign, that the apparition was going to show the people a sign. So 70, 80,000 people are in a field in Fatima, on the moors of Fatima, waiting for the sign. No one knows what the sign's going to be. Finally, it's been raining all morning. The clouds part, the sun is there, but then another cloud comes in front of the sun, and out of that comes the spinning object, which then floats down to the ground and then spins back up. It does it 3 different times, and finally does a flyby over the heads of the crowd. And we all of our research with Fatima stems from the 1917 handwritten records done by Father Fiera. We don't go anywhere as past 1917. That's it. 1917 records, that's what we source from. Because Lucia, first of all, the other 2 seers, Jacinta and Francisco, die in the influenza flu. They die of the big Spanish flu thing that happens, okay? So they never even reach their teenage years. They're dead. So all you guys, Lucia, who when she's 18, she's hustled off to a convent, given a vow of silence, and then she starts writing her memoirs, which include The Secrets of Fatima, which in my opinion is completely fabricated, 100% fabrication. There's no mention of any of that in the handwritten 1917 documents. What people look at is they say, I was out there and I looked up and saw a dull silver disc. Now that's in 1917, before the words UFO and flying saucer were used in the vernacular. So they look up and see a dull silver disc. We hear this repeated over and over and over again. Again, with all due respect to the Catholic Church and Mary, this thing has been dressed up in Catholic clothes. We actually have a photograph that was in the archives from 1917 that Jose Machado, we published it in the book, and it's in the film. We reveal it in the film. It's the smoking gun. And this photograph was taken by Joshua Benolio, who is a Jewish photographer who was out in the field in 1917. He took 12 photographs. So Jose Machado had access to the sanctuary at Fatima about 5 or 6 years ago. And in that, he's looking at the original glass plates. The original glass plates. Who the heck gets to do that? Are you kidding? In fact, when he went in there, get this, Steve, when he goes in there, no one knows where the glass plates are. It's just typical, isn't it? Well, I thought they were here, but they're not in this, and they're in a shoebox or in some box or something in some closet. It's just like, you just sit there and you shake your head, you know? Well, but you can't look at him now. Anyway, Jose looks at him. He's only allowed to really discuss several of them. But he told me on the record, that there were problems with like 4 or 5 of the photographs. What he means by that, there was stuff in the photographs that shouldn't be there. The photograph that we were able to use, that he uses in his book, it shows the crowd at Fatima. And there's smoke over here, and the smoke billows up and rises, makes a left-hand turn, and then it stops. And right where it stops is a disc-shaped object. It's as plain as the nose on my face.
Okay.
It's like right there. That's a smoking gun. And that photograph has never been seen in Portugal. Okay? And it's never been seen in America, and we published it. It's in our film. We published it. I think it's a smoking gun. So, you know, you show that to people when they just sit there and, you know, what is it? Well, everything could be photoshopped, though. Eh? It's not photoshopped, okay? It's the real deal. So that's what happened. And at the end of the film, we show this compilation of so-called sun miracles and apparition sites in modernity in the last 20, 30, 40 years. We show them like Zatoun, Conyers, Georgia, over in Africa, over in India, over in Egypt, everywhere. And it's this compilation. And I show this at conferences and people were just like this. They had no idea. Not Ireland 2017. And the crowds go ballistic. The crowds who are experiencing the apparition or the so-called sun miracles go off the rails. No one's rebuking. No one's saying, in the name of the Lord rebuke you. In the name of Jesus, the Lord rebuke you. No one's saying that. You know, no one's challenging it. Everyone's wailing and weeping, and it's crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I look at people and I go, okay, here we have a blob of light. That doesn't look like Mary to me. Does it look like Mary to you? So why are we rushing to say it's Mary? Why is that? Because it has a little blue light that looks like she's wearing a robe or something? That doesn't look like Mary to me. It looks like a blob of light with a blue thing down the side of it. Next, what's your next question? You know what I mean? So again, we're not trying to bag on anybody's religious belief. People can believe what they want to believe. But in my opinion, this is the harbinger of the coming great deception. And it shows how easily people can be deceived.